Okay, welcome to our next video on safe tool operation. We have completed the jointer, which is over there, and we have completed the miter saw, which is back there. And now we're going to move on to the next tool, which is called the thickness planer. All right, and the thickness planer is a tool that's used to change the thickness of wood. So, for example, this here is the piece that we just sent through the jointer, and we still have one side that's rough. You can see that it's still got the marks that are rough. So why don't we just go over to the jointer and flip it on there and send it through? Well, the reason we don't do that is because we're going to end up with a board that's uneven. It's not going to be the same thickness all throughout, because it might cut more here and down there. Maybe the board is a little bit out of whack already. Still has the crown on it on this side, and you might end up getting a wonky board. So you go to the thickness planer, which operates similarly to a jointer, only because it has a cutter head. Here underneath this hood is a cutter head, very similar to the jointers, but a lot bigger, that spins and cuts the wood. There's also a roller on the front of that cutter head and at the back of the cutter head. And the front one rolls, they both roll, and they spin and feed the wood underneath the cutter head, and it shaves it nice and clean. Now, to operate this, it is important to have one side that's already smooth, which is why I've sent this one through the jointer already. So it's ready to go through the planer. It's important to have the board or the part of the board that's the face of the board that's already smooth should be down on the bed, the infeed table of the planer. Okay, and the outfeed part of the planer is over here. You can see that. So there's an infeed and an outfeed, and right here we have a big wheel thingy here, and that's used for changing the height of the bed. All right, and that ultimately adjusts the thickness of the cut, because as you crank this wheel, it raises and lowers the bed. Okay, so if you look closely down here, there is a little red arrow with some numbers here, and that is telling you how thick the cut is. The top of this arrow is telling you how thick the cut is. As you turn the handle, you can see that is changing. I'm going down, I'm past 1.5 inches there now, and as I'm cranking it, my bed is also going down. So you have to get the bed adjusted to the proper height to make your cut. And what do I mean by that? Well, I'm going to show you. So what we have, let me just flip the camera around, if I can. Okay, so we are adjusting the bed height with the dial using the depth gauge here, the depth of cut gauge, which is on the side. The red arrow, top of the red arrow tells us our finished cut. Okay, so we've got this nice board, and we want to clean up the other side and make it all nice and the same thickness all along there like that. So what we're going to do is determine where we set the bed. Now you can see that I can just slide this piece in and out here. That means it's not going to do anything. Okay, there is a black stop here that limits the depth of cut. So anything that bumps into that, you're not going to be able to cut. So I'll show you an example. I'm going to crank this up, and right there, it's hitting right here. Okay, and that means that you should not send this board through. Okay, you have to reduce the cut until it fits under there. Okay, now it fits under there, great, it's going to do a good job of cutting. Now, if you're going to a precise size, you need to measure and know what size you're working towards. If all you want to do is make two parallel sizes and the thickness here doesn't matter, then you don't need to measure. You just have to make sure it fits under that black depth stop there. Okay. Safety points of the thickness planer. You need to have eye protection. Okay. You need to have ear protection. You cannot have loose clothes or jewelry, same as all the other tools. You do not want this thing to suck you in and chew your arm up, all right? That's not cool. No one would enjoy that. Now, so no loose clothes, no jewelry, all right? Operate with the guards in place, right? Obviously, these guards that are on top here are in place. You're not going to take them off. Do not plane wood less than 12 inches long. Now that's important because if you send a board in that's less than 12 inches long, it could get jammed in there or something. There is a way to do it, but you can't do it without supervision, all right? Now, if the wood gets stuck, turn off power and lower the table. Don't try messing around while the power is going. If it gets stuck in there, shut it off. Right here is a big red button that says S-T-O-P, and what's that spell? Spell stop. So you push it and it stops. All right, there's a little green button above it, and that starts it up. All right. What else we got? Check wood for loose knots or foreign material before planing. Yes. So you want to check, same as the jointer. No loose knots, no nails, no staples or other foreign material that could come flying out, because the cutter head is spinning in there, and it could send stuff flying out, and you could get hurt. Okay, you never want to look down like this and look in there. Okay, that's another rule. You need to be planing a piece that has to be at least 3/8 of an inch thick. Okay, so 3/8 of an inch thick is like the thickness of your pinky. Okay, nothing smaller than that. All right. And the maximum that you can cut is 1/16 of an inch. Now it kind of self-regulates because you can't actually send anything in that's bigger. It won't fit through this little black thing, but it's on the test. 1/16 of an inch is your maximum cut, and it says right up here. All right. Let's see. Anything else? When you're feeding the material in, there's an in-feed roller in there that will actually grab the material and pull it through itself. You don't have to push it through like you do on the jointer. It feeds itself through. It pulls the wood right through. So it's important that once it does grab, just let go of the thing. Okay, you don't have to keep pushing or anything, because you don't want your fingers getting close to the entrance here. You do not want that to happen. Once that board grabs, let go. Okay, go around the other side and collect it. It just goes right through. You don't have to do anything else. Okay, don't stick your hands or anything else in there. Nothing else goes in there but the board you're using. Okay. So it's actually a pretty simple machine. You turn it on, or first you adjust the height of your cut. You turn it on, send in your material, collect it at the other side, make your adjustment, because now it's taken off some material. After it goes through, it's removed material. So if you send it through again without making an adjustment, it won't do anything. So you send it through, adjust your height. Generally one spin will do about 1/16 of an inch. So that's about your max cut, is one rotation. No, you spin it. You spin the adjustment wheel forward to raise the bed and backward to lower the bed. Okay? And you'll try it and you'll get confused, but you'll get it. All right? Now, I'm going to try this out, so I'm going to turn on the dust collector. And I got my safety glasses on, so I'm going to zoom out here. And you can see the outfeed table right here a little bit. Where? Right there. So you'll see the piece of wood coming out there. I'm just going to show the in-feed table mostly, because that's the business end. Okay, earplugs. Put your earplugs in here, right? And your glasses. Now fire this thing up. You have to push the green button. It's not working, Mr. Mullet. What am I doing? Okay, this planer is interesting. You have to push the stop button first, and then the green one. Okay, so push the stop button. Push the green button. Take your piece, stand in front like this. Hold on to it. Feed it in. Feel it grab, let go. Let go. Go around. Retrieve it from this end. Now I've got it again here, and I'm going to do it again because it's hasn't taken off everything I wanted it to. Raise the bed. Raise the bed. Send it through again. Let go. pretty good. I've got 2 parallel faces that are ready for gluing if that's what I'm doing, gluing these faces, which is what you'll be doing on your drawer, your bandsaw box. But if you need to go to a certain thickness, then you just keep planing until you get it to that thickness. Okay? I think that's it for the thickness planer, I hope. If there's anything else, I'll add it on. Right on.